Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft / dining room. Thought I'd try something new. Dining room. Today's card project also ran on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. So in the words of Morrissey, stop me, oh ho ho, stop me. Stop me if you think that you've heard this one before. I'm from the 80s. Actually, I'd love to have you watch over here too, because to view is just awesome. Also, it's a cute card and it's a fun idea for using cling stamps and making pretty backgrounds. That card project is coming up next. For today's card, we're going to take a gorgeous repeating pattern red rubber cling stamp it down, emboss it, and ink blend a beautiful, cool tone over the top. And then we're going to top it with a die cut. Easy peasy breezy. Let's take a look at the products I'm using today. The cling stamp is called Deco Squares, and it's just a simple geometric pattern that repeats, and it looks a lot like that. Now you could color it all in if you wanted to, but that's not what we're doing. We're going to take a selection of distress oxides and do a little emboss resist. I'm also going to top it with this Betting on You word and shadow. I'm not going to use the shadow today, just the word die. I like making encouragement cards. I think we can never send too many. I've also got a few blending brushes, some embossing and watermark ink, and some clear embossing powder. Those are the basics. The first thing I'm going to do is take the insert pad out of my MISTI tool, because when you're stamping with red cling, you need more depth. And I like to put my cling right onto the MISTI. Take a little purple tape here, and I'm going to tape my paper to the MISTI door. This is just a way I like to use cling stamps. I find that I get a better impression. And I also like to have a piece of paper that's a little bigger than I need, and I like to be able to hold onto it with my hand while I'm blending. It'll all make sense. But with that taped to the door, I'm going to take my embossing magic, run it over to remove static and oil from the paper, and then go ahead and ink up my red cling stamp really well, bring down the door, and press. I give it good even pressure all around the MISTI door to transfer the ink to the cardstock. It's going to be a little hard to see here, but the impression was great, and you'll start to see it as I sprinkle on my clear powder. I've been using clear powder more often lately to do emboss resist. I just think it's really cool when you have a nice bright white cardstock like the one I'm using, which is the Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. And that clear is just a cool powder for this technique. I'll get my heat tool nice and hot and quickly melt all of the powder until it is smooth and shiny. And it kind of disappears here on camera, but trust me, oh, it's there. We'll just melt it, and you can see how the light catches it. There's the pattern on my cardstock. I use the same brushes when I am using distress oxides. These are brushes from Simon Says Stamp. I like to clean them off a little first to get whatever I was using before off. Then I'll load up my brush here with the tumbled glass and begin blending on the color. This is such an easy technique and such a fun way to create a colorful background for pretty much any theme of project. Once I get that color on, I'll bring another paper towel and wipe all of the ink that is pooled on top of the embossing powder away, and it reveals that gorgeous pattern below. Next, I'm bringing in broken china. The thing I love about playing with oxides is at first it looked like, oh, this isn't going to work at all. Those colors don't go together at all. But as soon as I wiped away the excess, I thought to myself, that's not bad, Kath. The next color I'm bringing in is Blueprint Sketch, blending that on, and again, overlapping a little with the previous color. The thing about distress oxides is they're very forgiving. So if you're not really confident with ink blending, give this a try with the oxides. The other thing that's so great about them is when they dry, they kind of smooth out a little, they get a little lighter and chalkier, and they're really, really cool when everything is done, right? Now I decided just to go with Seedless Preserve. I wasn't sure which purple I wanted, and oh, that color that you get when you overlap, that little transition tone, I think that is gorgeous. So I went back in with some of the other colors to kind of bump it up a little, right? It's just a work in progress. The nice thing too about this type of ink is you just kind of layer it, right? You keep going until you look down at your craft/dining room table and say, hey, I like it. Next, while that is drying, I'm going to cut out 3 betting on you greetings for the front of the card. And I'll just run this through my Gemini Junior. Normally I keep my Gemini off camera. It's kind of a big beast, but I love it because it makes these gorgeous, clean cuts. Of course, didn't want to forget about the dot on the eye, the lovely tittle, and everything pops out like it was, well, like it was meant to be. And I'll cut out 2 more of those. I'm going to take this little scalloped and stitched frame die. This is from a Master Layouts 4 set from GKD Designs, and I'm going to trim out this panel because I think this is going to look really cool. Run it through, and the result, oh, isn't that scallop and stitch cute? And now I will spray adhesive onto the 3 betting on yous, and I do that in a little cardboard box off camera. And then I will line them up. Now I'm showing you this in real time because I have gotten much better at gluing and stacking die cuts. I absolutely love the result of having a dimensional greeting for your card, but I go really slow. It takes me a while to line everything up. I put on 1 layer, put a brick on it, and then I repeat the process. Next, I'll prep my card base. This is going to be a US A2 card, so 5.5 wide by 4.25 tall. This is the landscape orientation. I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of my pretty little panel and pop that up for a little dimension. And for a little sub-sentiment, I wanted to tuck something right into that little area next to the, well, between the 2 top and bottom words. So I cut out a couple greetings from this particular set, and I thought "You Got This" would be perfect in there, right? Now, these are printed on white cardstock, so if you want it to look like it's printed on, well, it's like it's white type on black cardstock, just take a dark pen and color over the edges. I do that all the time with these little sentiment strips, and it works fantastically. I've got my glue on the back there, and I'll get it lined up, bring in my T-square just to make sure the baseline of bedding is straight. And that looks great. Press that down. And next, we don't want to forget about the tittles, but I find this easier to do on the actual panel. So you put a little dollop of glue down, put your first little tittle down. It's such a funny word. But then you can stack and glue as you go, because if you were trying to hold those with your fingers and glue them like freestanding, I think that would be, well, I think that would be impossible. All right, all 3 tittles stacked, glued, the dimension, it is complete. I've got some thin foam squares on the back of my little sentiment strip, popping that right in, betting on you, you got this. I think encouragement cards are so great to send because, you know, friends or family who need a little pick-me-up, you as the card maker, you can provide that. Yeah, that's like a little superpower. Next, I'll finish off the card with 5 sequins cascading from the top and trailing down at the bottom. Silver sequins are my favorite just because I think they're clean and simple and they add the right amount of shine to any card panel. And that's the finished card project. I hope you give this a try. I love cling stamps for the beautiful impression that they provide, but it's also just a really fun way to practice your ink blending, play around, and when you're done, you'll have a gorgeous background panel for your card. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.